Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me know in the comments. I'm so sorry I'm late. My little guy, I'm doing this during his naps, and he was like, "Hey mom, what if we didn't do a nap today?" And I was like, "Listen, please no." So yeah, that was a little terrifying. We might be starting these later, just in case his naps are moving. I don't know, but thank you guys for being patient. Hi, I see so many of you in the comments. I'm just gonna really quick shout some of you out. Samara, Avi, Monique, Shawnee, Megan, Nova. Oh my gosh, you guys are chatting with each other. Thank you for telling each other that I was running late. I appreciate it. Beth, Abby, Avi, I saw you here. Awesome. Yeah, don't forget to hit like. Thank you for that. That's very sweet. Dana, Erica, Joanna. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you here. This is so cool. How many people are here? I don't have the actual page open. 79 of us already? Okay. All right, let's get on it. I have so much planned for you. So, in case you don't know, let me actually make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So this is another Save the Cat experiment. During this month of October 2023, we are going to have weekly live streams together here on YouTube. We're going to outline a book together, an entire book in theory. And then we're going to actually be using these Save the Cat writes a novel or YA novel, either one, specifically the story beats inside, to help us with our plotting. We're also going to have other resources, which I will show you in a minute. And then our project, if you haven't seen this yet, is called Codename Butterbook. I just love it. It rolls off the tongue. So this came from the book right here, Seven Figure Fiction. You can see there's a little butter on the front there. And okay, so this is a lot to it. I will explain more later, but essentially it's the tip to add more butter, aka things that make it taste better, to the story so much better. And the book idea is inspired by A Court of Thorns and Roses and Friends, the TV show. So let me know if you've watched Friends or read ACOTAR, because if you haven't, you might be like, I don't know, but we'll talk more about that too. And then also some Beauty and the Beast retelling vibes, of course. And then also our goal here, I just want to say this right up front, is to have fun together, because just Preptober fun and brainstorming together. And I think it'll also be really valuable for you to, honestly, whenever I see somebody do a vlog or something like that and talk about their book, it gets me inspired to write, but also sometimes it can hopefully give you ideas, maybe this question to ask or this idea you hadn't considered before, or talking to people on the live. So I hope you're chatting with each other, because it's going to be super fun to talk about our stories. So really quick, before we get into it, let me know what you're working on this month, because I actually really am excited to hear if you guys are in plotting, if you're going to be plotting with me, if you're going to be drafting, editing, publishing, or maybe you're just taking a break. Honestly, that's okay too, because I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of a break, and I'm going to also be, plotting with you guys, obviously. And did I tell you guys this already? Remind me if I told you this, but I was going to try to write this book throughout the month. And then I had kind of a wake up call as I was super stressed and there was no time. I was like, that's a bad idea. Because not only is it too much to take on this particular month for me, but NaNoWriMo is next month. Let me know if you've heard of it or done it, because it's something a lot of writers love to write. National Novel Writing Month in November. And I was like, why not just wait till November and write with you guys and do live streams then? So that kind of takes the pressure off. I can just enjoy. So I'm going to quick check in. Oh my gosh, there's so many good comments. Thank you guys for being understanding about Zion. I really appreciate it. Oh, yes, I got a haircut. I probably should have said that. You guys are super sweet. I hate it, but that's okay, because I always hate haircuts. So anyway, I see so many comments. So let me catch up. My mom's here. Hi, Mom. And I am super excited to be plotting with you. So I'm going to quick give you an intro. We're going to have just me, the idea, a resource list, survey results. If you did take the survey, let me know. And then we're going to dive into plotting. I actually tried really hard to shorten this intro, but there's so much good stuff to share. And also, I just want to check in with you guys. Butter makes everything better. Yes. I have watched Friends, feasted on both, love Friends, love ACOTAR. Yay, Penny. Love Friends and ACOTAR. Oh, ACOTAR, no. Oh, interesting. We'll talk about that more a little bit too, because I think it'd be good to talk about comps and all that. I don't know what this means. I don't think I was, but it sounds awesome. ACOTAR and Friends are my favorites too. Yay. Okay. And then a lot of you are plotting, drafting and revising, drafting. Okay. Awesome. So a lot of us are plotting, working on a zero draft. I like that. That takes the pressure off to call it a zero draft. I really love that. Fifth or sixth draft. Sweet. So here's a good thing. And just coming back to, love for ACOTAR and A Throne of Glass, right? I think is what I was like, TOG. Finishing a detailed outline. Anyway, sorry, I can't do comments and chat, but coming back to the purpose, I think this will still be valuable even if you're in a different stage in your novel, because I think it'll be very inspirational. Haven't read ACOTAR, love Friends, sweet. Yay, I'm so excited that you're plotting and drafting too. Okay, so I want to keep going through comments, but I also know myself that I could chat forever. So let's keep going through the live and I'll come back to comments or through the introductions. So my crazy idea, and myself, of course, if you don't know me, Bethany Altazada, YA fantasy author, and specifically, I've really gotten into fairy tale retellings, which is why I'm very excited about this book idea with you guys. And I'm also, oops, let me jump back. Oh, I'm not good at slides. There we go. Our starting inspiration. So obviously I kind of already asked you if you like Friends, if you like ACOTAR. I didn't ask you if you like Beauty and the Beast. I mean, it's Beauty and the Beast. You guys like Beauty and the Beast, right? So I just wanted to put this note here though, where it says inspired by, not copying. So I think I was talking to a critique partner and she was like, I can't picture like how you're wanting to make these mesh together. So especially for those of you who might not have seen Friends or have read ACOTAR, let me give you like a teeny bit of an example. So with Friends, I love the way that there's, the 6 of them, obviously, and they are, I'm trying to think of how to describe them. It's the trope called found family, where they are just there for each other. They live close by. They spend a ton of time together. They're always doing things together, and they can count on each other, and they have that very close friendship. So that element, for example, would be something to pull into our story. And then with ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's often called ACOTAR if you don't know. I probably should have said that sooner. With that story, I really love, obviously, the fae elements, the fantasy elements, and the world building, the fact that it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And I really love a lot of the darker fantasy elements. So kind of meshing those things together. And then obviously Beauty and the Beast and the merchant's daughter, and there's a curse and all that good stuff. So we'll talk more about that, but I just wanted to share the starting inspiration just in case you didn't know. And there's so many comments that I'm missing. Just let me know if I'm missing anything huge, but also if you have thoughts for plotting, don't forget, hold on to that thought because we'll come back and I'll come back to the comments soon. All right, so actually this is our first brainstorming question. I forgot I put this in there. I was like, okay, ACOTAR is considered a spicy book. If you like reading spice, you probably like ACOTAR. And I personally, for my brand, I've created a brand of fairy tale retellings that are not spicy, but I do know I want to branch into romance more, but I don't personally want to write spice. And so I was wondering, do you think ACOTAR is a good comp? A comp is called a book that you basically compare to when you're telling readers about your story, when you come to marketing, or will this make readers automatically assume that my story also has spice? So in that case, should we consider a different comp book with fae, such as maybe The Cruel Prince? And so I put a little note there. You can see at the bottom, it says, the reason this is important, I have learned this the hard way, is if you go into a story knowing where you're going to be at the end, basically the marketing, how you're going to tell readers about it, how you're going to get readers excited about it, it actually not only makes that process easier, but it makes the entire writing process easier too. It's kind of incredible. So I have found that the more you know where it's going to, hold on, I got really excited about this. Can you say no spice ACOTAR? Let me know what you guys think of that, because I actually really like that, because this is it too. I could also call it a cozy. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. The comments are going so fast. So people probably will assume spice. That's kind of what I was thinking too, is like, we could call it a cozy. Oh my goodness, the comments are going so fast. You guys are amazing. Could you just say fae? That's a good idea. Go with a different comp. Cruel Prince might be good depending on the type of fae. Okay. So this is why it's good to know, because what if this is a perfect example. What if I got to the end and we had to use ACOTAR and I had planned it to be ACOTAR, and then we get to the end and it's like, well, actually that's not a good comp. It confuses readers, which we don't want, right? You want to reach your target readers, the people who would enjoy your story. And then I'm like, shoot, I used the wrong comp and I did the entire book, with the wrong story in mind. So I feel like I could say ACOTAR without spice as a selling point. That's a really good idea. So basically, yeah, I haven't even read it and would suspect spice. Yeah, it is a little bit spicy. I think she actually was kind of an intro. So you guys think Holly Black's book might be better? That's encouraging. Let's see here. ACOTAR fans who wish it had less or no spice. Okay. Could market it as non-spicy. So this is something to chew on. And I'm going to actually come back because a lot of you are saying this as well. And I really like that. Yeah, it kind of did become synonymous with, and it's okay. Like a lot of people love ACOTAR. That's one of the reasons I'm like, this is a well-loved book, right? But if I'm writing something, my goal is to say my book is similar to this. But if it's not similar, that will make readers upset, right? So we don't want that. Okay, so I'm just going to come back to these comments because you guys are giving really good suggestions. And if you want to, let me know throughout the week. I might even do a survey, so we could just take a big poll on this in my newsletter, if that sounds interesting. So we can kind of get a ratio of what you guys think, your honest opinion, if you had to vote one way or the other, and then I can tally it up that way. But we're going to keep going because I'm barely out of the intro yet. This whole, what did I call it? Save the Cat experiment is actually something we've done before. My critique partner, Brittany Wang, and I did this back in 2020, if you can believe that. At least that's what the video says. It says at the bottom there 4 years ago, which is just wild. So it might have been 2019, actually. I don't remember, but we did it in 10 weeks. And this time around, we're doing it in, I was going to say 5 weeks, but it's actually only 4 weeks, 5 live streams. The next one, so we're here today on that red line. The next one is tomorrow. And I wrote this in my newsletter yesterday. I was like, I'm giving past Bethany a lot of side eye right now because what was I thinking? But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to keep going as long as I get us to the plotting. So coming back to this, I did kind of review it already. So the resources, I'm going to run through this super fast because I am late today. So I want to make sure we get to plotting. We've got Save the Cat Writes a Novel or the original. And I have a quick note that these are really awesome. If you're going to use any resource, I would personally recommend these, but you don't have to get them. I think you're going to get a lot out of these live streams either way. But if you do listen in and hear us plotting, I have a feeling you're going to want to get them just because you're going to see how valuable these books are. I really love them. Then the other one, I already mentioned this, 7-figure fiction. So just to kind of delve into this a little bit more, it is kind of on the marketing side. At least that's what I thought when I first got it. And then I realized that actually it's almost even more fundamental than Save the Cat when it comes to brainstorming and plotting your novel. You can use it at any point. So if you're already in editing, or even if you're almost about to publish, which is when I read it, you can still find ways to implement this, the information in this book. But it basically talks about if you have universal fantasies, and this does not just refer to the fantasy genre, but for example, in romance, a billionaire falls in love with you and wants to marry you. That's a lot. That could be a universal fantasy for a lot of people. Universal doesn't actually mean literally everybody. It just means a large number of people will be very drawn to this, and it's a universal fantasy. So this book is so good, and you could read it at any point, like I said, but it's really valuable because it is where I got my starting place for brainstorming during this plotting. So we'll come back to that again. The novel planner notebooks, I have them right here as well. And so I won't go into this in a lot of detail, but I basically made these for myself because I just wanted someplace to do writing, tracking, and notes, kind of bullet journal style. I think my favorite page is this one right here. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a writing tracker. And anyway, if you're interested, I won't pressure you. I just wanted to bring that up because I'm going to be plotting in those. I like to use my novel planner notebooks a lot. And they're good for NaNoWriMo as well. And then this is free, Abby Emmons' outlining playlist, and also her character videos. I believe I have all these resources linked below. Highly recommend this because it basically was amazing to me how it lines up with Save the Cat almost exactly with the beats, but it's so incredibly different at the same time that it kind of makes a light bulb turn on sometimes where it's like, okay, I'm having trouble with the fun and games beat. It's so big. Or the bad guys close in beat. It's so big. And then she adds in things like the pinch point. And so we'll get into that more as well. If you want to watch these in advance, I definitely recommend it. I saw somebody saying, what are the similarities? Oh, we're still back on the comic book. So I'll come back to that. Oh my goodness, I've been missing a lot of comments. Thank you guys. If you have anything like that I'm missing, because I'm missing a lot, please make sure to like save it and show me later when I come back to the comments, because I want to keep going. But I did want to point this one out because, yeah, it is hard sometimes to identify like the butter. So one of the best ways to do it, which is what we're going to do today, is run it by other authors, run it by other readers and see what they like. Oh, and before I forget, the last resource, you do not need to get this one whatsoever, but I had this fairy book that I got a few years ago, and I'm like, this is perfect. So just to give you a little sneak peek, there's a table of contents and a little sneak peek at some pages. It's really fun. And so I took that section where it says fairies from around the world just to show you, because I thought it was so cool, how many different countries, I guess, and around the world, different fairies have been created. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know. And it's just super cool. And then I also just wanted to point out, I thought this would be really valuable because I've seen on Instagram specifically, whenever people see Fae books, they're like, oh, you're copying Sarah J. Maas, which is funny because we are using Sarah J. Maas as inspiration. But there's actually a lot of popular Fae books on the market. Here's just a few right here. I keep pointing the wrong way. And I bet you guys in the comments could name a lot more. So let me know if you have more like that. Like here, oh my gosh, perfect. A Deal with the Elf King. The reason I wouldn't use that as a comp, just to come back to your question, is I believe Elise is a new adult author. So if I'm doing YA, I got to be really careful because that would be the same problem as ACOTAR, which is supposedly YA, that it might attract readers who are actually thinking it's something else. They're thinking it's more new adult. But coming back to this, the reason that I mentioned all those different Fae books and the fact that some people are like, oh, you're copying Sarah J. Maas, is when it comes to outlining, I think it's really important for all of us to take off our critic hat and just throw it away for a little bit. If you are second guessing any of your outlining and brainstorming decisions or worrying about what other people think, it's going to hold you back. It's really going to hold you back. And so the reason that I bring this up is this is just an outline. I just want us to all take the pressure off. Like there's a little pressure on me because I'm doing it live and I'm like, okay, let's not get too crazy, Bethany. But honestly, who cares? If I can be a good example to you of brainstorming like goofy stuff that is like, oh, that was a really dumb idea, that's okay. It was just the outline. And when we get to drafting, we might recognize, oh, that was a little bit crazy. And then when we get to editing, oh, let's try a third time to fix this. It's fine. It's just the outline. So I really want us to take the pressure off in that area. And then this is a quote by Rachel Stephen. It's not actually a quote because I heard it, I think 5 years ago at this point. So I couldn't remember exactly how she'd said it in a video, but it was something along the lines of your first like 2 or 3 ideas are total garbage. And then the 4th or 5th idea is when you get to the good stuff. So if you're willing to stick it out, you're most likely going to get to better ideas if you let yourself keep brainstorming and let yourself get those junky ones out first. Sometimes we're like, ooh, that's a bad idea. I should just stop. But no, you should actually keep going and let yourself do a second and a third bad idea so you can get to the good ideas that come after. I love all this love for Abby Emmons. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm so glad that you guys have watched her stuff. And then, oh, hold on. I won't be co-writing with anybody for a very long time, but thank you for asking. I might never actually, because I'm kind of a control freak. I'm not going to lie. Love Abby Emmons. That's awesome. Me too, me too. Okay, you are so sweet. Thank you, Joanna. If it wasn't for Abby, I wouldn't be writing this novel. I love that. So I hope that Abby can see this. Like, let her know that you guys are enjoying her videos because I want to shout her out. But we're going to keep going. Did you fill in the survey? Let me know. And if you did, you are going to be one of I think the last time I checked, actually, we had crossed 150, but you can see at the top there, it says 146 people have filled out the survey at the time of me taking this picture. Oh, that is so cool. And so we're going to whip through it because I'm already past or like slow on my time. but I see a lot of you saying you did fill it. Okay, sweet. I'm so excited. If you didn't, you can totally feel free to chime in and chat with each other about these different questions, but we're going to dive in and I'll show you. I think there's 13 total. So here we go. The first one is our main character. And I asked for a placeholder name. And then what I ended up doing is I literally just went and Googled names that mean beauty for Beauty and the Beast, because we're just doing a placeholder name. And then I got, I think, a dozen, so I had to cut some out. But I see that some of you added placeholder, or not placeholder, name ideas in there as well. Now, the reason I like to try out names that have specific meaning, even if I don't end up using them and it's just an outline name, is because it helps me picture the characters more. So that's just one little tip. But I put it in bold here. Do not get caught up in naming during outlining. You can always change them later. Seriously, this is one of the biggest things I see writers get tripped up in, is we like to have our Pinterest boards and we like to, get the name just right and take like a week to figure it out, or be like, oh, I still haven't figured it out, so I can't start yet. But you can. It's just an outline. Coming back to what I said before. So anyway, for our poll or survey, Calliope had the lead, but Amara actually took over on the last day. And I was looking at this as the week went on, and I was like, okay, whichever one wins, I think I want to shorten it to Callie or Mara. And when I thought of Mara, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, do you see the meaning here? This was so cool. I was like, okay, bitter carries an implication of strength. Like that makes me picture a character, and that makes me excited. So like I said, this is just a placeholder name, but if it gets you excited, or if it gives you like the green light to, I think I can keep drafting, I say go for it. It doesn't have to be the one. This might not be it, but we're going to call her Mara for right now. The second one that I made this the top thing to vote on was your top 3 to 5 favorite tropes. And I did put romance tropes, but I realized later it could be literally any tropes. I had just happened to brainstorm romance specifically. And the reason that I started with tropes, I kind of touched on this already, but I think this is really valuable for us to think about, is that number one, it's so much easier to write a story that you are excited about, right? Number two, it's a really good way to make sure your readers are going to be excited about it. If it's a trope, that means it's something people have liked and want more of, right? Number three, it can give you a fantastic starting place for brainstorming. It's really awesome place to start because you can craft your character and your plot and your world like around these tropes if you really like them. And tropes is just one word. You could call it the butter, like we're doing with our butter book. You could call it a universal fantasy if it happens to be a little bit bigger than a trope. And like I said, read 7-Figure Fiction if you want to know more about that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just saw the comments like flood in. Love Mara. Callie Mara. I love that. Oh, thank you guys. You are so sweet. I'm so happy. Yeah, if you can't think of a name, you just type in insert. I love that. And this is genius, you guys. What Erica is suggesting has helped me so much. Just make sure that when you get to the editing stage that you look for brackets. So I literally use specific brackets, and then I'll use the search bar to like find them all later. I'm so happy you like the name. Yay. And yeah, tropes with marketing helps a lot. But the reason, coming back to my slides again, is this makes me excited to write it. And I hope that you feel that way about any tropes that you pick. And I'm going to show you a big, massive 3-page list of tropes as well that you can pull from for your books. But we have, from the survey results, our top votes right here on the left. And then on the right side is others that we can try to fit in if they blend well. So all of this is in my Google Doc that I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to keep going. After I put out the survey, though, I did find, I have wherever my bullet journal is, I was like, shoot, I forgot to put these in the survey. And I was super, super excited about these. I had written them down and forgotten about it. So we may or may not fit these as well. But these are ones that I personally got really excited about. Like the first one there is Enneagram 8. This is when a character is like brutally honest, says whatever they're thinking. They really don't care. And they're just like, whatever, if people don't like it, then they can leave, Like you don't see a lot of characters like that. I think that sounds really fun. My husband is an Enneagram 8, and it could be very fun because when they're in an unhealthy place, a little crazy. And then when they get healthy, they can be so amazing. They can be your biggest advocator. They're like on your side. They make sure, that you're safe and protected. It's very cool. Abby said, I don't know about tropes. So that's okay that you don't know about them. If you want to, you can Google it. But these ones that we're showing on the screen are, well, these are actually not super common tropes. Let's see. The cinnamon roll one in the middle is a trope that's a little more common. Back here on this page, enemies to lovers is probably, tell me if you think this too. I feel like everybody loves that one. That one's like the biggest trope that I have found ever. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it just skipped again. Healthy eights are seriously so protective and sweet. Exactly. I love this idea. Sarcasm as a defense mechanism. I love it. So that one is on this page. And as you can see, I put like Chandler from Friends, our inspiration, but obviously we wouldn't copy him, but that part of his character would be really fun to bring in. Yeah, Enneagram 8s have such a big heart. Exactly. They are kind of like, they have a really fun extreme. They can be extremely unhealthy or extremely awesome and like such great advocates. So the cinnamon roll one, I lost the comment, but somebody had said, I don't know what the secret cinnamon roll means. It's kind of, honestly, it's kind of an Enneagram 8. They don't like to be vulnerable and they don't like people to know that they're vulnerable. They try to be tough and strong and have that exterior, but secretly they're like soft and, mushy and sweet. That's like the cinnamon roll. And so anyway, I love getting sidetracked, but I should keep going. So I'm going to come back to these comments. If I miss any, let me know. Question 4, should the book start in the human world and move into the Fae world, or should it just all take place in the Fae world? And you guys made this one super easy. I'm thinking what we'll do is start Act 1 in the human world, and then maybe Act 2 and 3 go into the Fae world is probably what will work best. And number 5, well, where exactly is this Fae world? That was like the next question that came to mind. So you can see as I was creating the survey, I was just kind of following the trail of thought. So if you're doing that when you're plotting and outlining and you're like, wait a minute, now that I know this, I have to figure out this. Like it's just a natural progression. So you guys voted that green 137.7%, an invisible veil that separates the world of humans and Fae. But in the book, this fairy book that I showed you guys, there's actually like 3 different veils, so to speak, that we could go with. So the very first one is technically the one you voted for, where it's like twice a year. I think it's on specific holidays. I can't remember what they're called, but option 2, thresholds between worlds, and option 3 was a fairy door. But I think if I go back, where is it? The purple one there was 19.6 was the fairy door. I don't think as many of you liked that. So we'll probably go with option 1 or 2. I'm just like leaning towards 2 because thresholds between worlds means they could go back and forth more than twice a year. But we can see, we can vote on that one later too if you guys want. Again, I can do like a second follow-up vote, but I currently have these options in our Google Doc. Okay, so number 6, should we attempt to create a big cast of 6 characters like in Friends, or simplify it with like 2 to 4? And this was funny because you guys were very evenly based here on this throughout the week, but I think for the majority of the time, 6 main characters was in the lead. And so that's what we're going to do. But I put a little note there at the bottom. Do not worry. We still want to have like 1 main character so that we can kind of focus and make sure. Yeah, I think that was it, Jacqueline. The solstices is I think when the veil was. Oh, this is so cool that you have that as well. And yeah, see, Act 2, I can tell you've read Save the Cat because you know about the like Act 2 New World. And we're going to talk about that as well. Okay, so number 7, once we decided that, I was like, well, our main girl should be one of 3 sisters, just like Rachel, Feyre, and Belle in our 3 inspiration books. So that I feel like let's just do it. Make it easy for ourselves. But then do we know if she's the oldest, middle, or youngest? You guys voted. It was very, very close. It looks like youngest daughter won. And I'm excited because when it was middle daughter for a while, I was like, I can't quite picture that. But youngest daughter, I can picture. Number 8 was the question, what type of fairy should we have? Choose all that interest you. So on the left side, I kind of tried to organize this because the majority of you voted towards the bottom there. There was a vote if you want multiple, and that was the highest vote, I think. That said, there's a lot of, people who are like, well, be careful how you do it because you want to balance it well so they feel like they jive together and it seems natural, right? And it's not overwhelming, and it's not just throwing Fae in there willy-nilly. So what I think we're going to do is I kind of put them in this list here. And then we probably will start with like one, like high Fae or winged Fae or whatever. I don't know. We don't have to decide right this second, but probably one of those two. And then as we get to points in the story where we're like, oh, I think we need another Fae creature here, like somebody different, we can go to this list and refer to this. And this as well, our fairy attributes we want to include was a vote, and you guys pretty much voted for everything that I had on the list there. So all of this and the previous question are in our Google Doc that we're about to look at. Number 10, what top 3 themes out of the Save the Cat list below sounded most interesting for you to read? I love that you guys chose the love theme. So this could be self-love, family, friends, others, like the whole world, I don't know, romance. Save the Cat talks about that more. I need to reread that section actually on themes and refresh myself because I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. Oh, I'm so sorry you missed the poll. Jacqueline, if you want, like I said, I probably will do more. So I'm going to probably do the future ones through my newsletter. If you want to sign up, that's linked below. But the reason that I bring this up, the theme, and the reason that I wanted to include this is actually Abby Emmons in this video and other videos on her channel talks about how if you have a theme, like a message you want to get across to the world, and then you flip it. So I think she calls it a truth. So you take your truth and you flip it to the opposite, the lie, the opposing message. That becomes your character's misbelief. And it will naturally drive their decisions, aka what Save the Cat calls their wants, their needs, and their flaws. And therefore it becomes very, very, very important. And it actually, like, we're going to be looking at the wants, needs, and flaws. But honestly, knowing this misbelief that drives them is going to be huge for us figuring out our starting place today. So that's why I bring that up and why I was really, really trying to make sure we covered that. Hold on, this looks good. Save the Cat calls the themes universal lessons that anybody can relate to. I love that. Yes. Oh, okay. Awesome. I'm so glad you're signing up for the newsletter. Thank you. I will do another one just for fun because we already have, I think, 2 decisions we need to make, right? I'm going to have to go back through the live and watch and look at you guys' comments because this is so much fun. Oops, did I jump ahead? Okay. Number 11, to fit the Friends with Fae vibes, what type of business or establishment could they frequent that might feel similar to the coffee shop in Friends, the Central Perk, if you haven't watched it? And so, funny enough, I'll go into this one more time in a second, but the next question was actually really similar. So I didn't think of that at first, but the next question was like, where should they all live? And this was, where should they all hang out? And so here's like a very, what do you call it? Condensed version of all the votes that came in. Because remember, there was like 150 people plus. But it was funny because a lot of you were like, stick with the coffee shop or maybe do a pub or a tavern. So like, kind of keep with those vibes of a central place to eat and drink. And then a lot of you also voted for a bookstore or a library, which I'm just very into that. So I put this note here at the bottom. Why not blend our hangout place with where they live? And so here's my combination idea, okay? And in this previous question right here, I didn't show the responses, but a lot of them were very similar, but there were also a lot of castle, fairy court, mansion. And I was like, okay, so one of those 3, I don't know which one yet. This could be our 3rd poll. What do you guys think? Should we do a poll for that as well? This is a good question. Is it modernized? I don't know. I don't personally love the idea, but like I could grow used to it because we are writing something different, right? So I'm going to make a note to myself. Send out a poll. And I don't remember the first 3 questions, but number 4 was going to be modern or not. Or I don't know, not is probably not the best way to say that. But let's do a poll on that too, because I'm not 100% sure. If it was more modern, a coffee shop would feel fine. But if it wasn't modern, if it was a little bit more stereotypical castle, fairy court vibes, then we might just need to find a different word, because like the whole world loves coffee, right? And tea, but you could call it a cafe, or you could just give it like a whole like separate name. But anyway, this is my idea. I put this in the Google Doc as well. We can talk about that more. And then I kind of hinted at this already, but number 13, last but not least, I asked you guys, does this fit in the Stolen Kingdom universe? Does it really? And I kind of knew what you guys were going to say, but then this confirmed it. So in the red, or no, sorry, in the yellow, it says, I don't see it working that well. I like the idea of a new fantasy world. And that was the winning vote, followed very closely by I'm on the fence. So pretty much everybody was like, I don't know. And so I think we're 100% decided it's going to be a new world. But I actually had not thought of this because, see, like, yeah, a modernized world, it does mesh more with friends. But is that my brand? Does it? So it's so hard for me to decide because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting sidetracked. Coffee shop and a magical bookstore. Yes. See, the combination of all of these would be so fun. Funny enough, there is a book called The Fae Cafe, AB, that just came out. A friend of mine, Jennifer Kropf, I think, just put it out. You should totally check it out because I'm like, I think I need to read this. So I don't want to steal her title, but like literally The Fae Cafe, it's perfect. She was genius to think of that. I love it. And then yeah, feels like a new realm. So I think that for sure is decided, but I'm just now realizing how it's still just knowing that it's a new realm doesn't actually make as many decisions as I thought it did. I thought, oh, this will be easy. No, it's actually going to be a lot harder, but that's okay because it's good for us to see outlining and plotting a whole new world together. Okay. How did I do on time? 12:50. Wow. We are about to start outlining. Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. I can't wait to start brainstorming with you. Thank you for letting me get through that intro and talk through the survey. So before we get into it, there is no right way to outline. This is just my way. I literally am just sharing with you things that like this book helped me a lot, but do I always reference it? Sometimes I need to branch out. In fact, there was a point a couple books back, it was when I found Abby Emmons' outlining videos where I was like, I feel so stuck in this particular story. This wasn't quite enough. And then I found Abby's videos and she phrased things a little different, light bulb, and then a different book, I was like, okay, I'm using the Abby Emmons questions, but it's not quite working for me. I need to talk to a friend, so you need to follow your gut and just know that I am not telling you you have to do it my way. I'm just showing you a way and some things that you might like. So just wanted to put that encouragement out there. Today, we're going to, in theory, do wants, needs, and the character's flaw or misbelief. I really like how Abby calls it a misbelief. So I'm going to kind of focus on that aspect. The world, we kind of have figured out some tiny pieces, but I'm realizing how much is left to figure out. So we might talk more about that. And then our foundation story beats. I wrote them out here. Catalyst, break into 2, midpoint, all is lost, and break into 3. And again, if you've read Save the Cat, you're going to recognize those. If you haven't, I'll go into it a little bit more. Actually, this is a good point to ask you guys. Have you read either of these, Save the Cat, YA novel, or writes a novel? Either of them, let me know, because I am actually curious how many of you have not read it yet so that I can just be careful how I'm describing it so I don't sound totally crazy when I'm talking about the bad guys closing in and all that stuff. Okay. Oh, this is good to know. Hold on. I'm going to have to check out her channel. I think I'm subscribed to her, but I did not know she has an outlining video like this. So that's exciting. And any other resources on outlining, let us know in the comments because I think it'll be really helpful. Okay. So I am loving all the comments coming in, but they're going so fast that I'm only seeing pieces. Okay. You have both right now. Awesome. Annotated. I love that. Have the original. Sweet. Awesome. Read both. Okay. The original is really good, you guys. I don't want to discount that at all. The YA version is also really good. Okay. Haven't read it. Oh, sorry, I skipped past adding to your cart. Yay. Very exciting. The screenwriting one, funny enough, I don't have it with me, but I also have that one. I think that's how I originally found out about Save the Cat. But I will say, this is just my personal experience. I found that one a little confusing just because it did not apply to books and it got very confusing. So I really love how Jessica Brody, either one of these is very helpful, how she like gives you percentages for like where in the book this should be happening and stuff like that. Okay, so read the Write the Novel one only once, a couple years ago, more familiar with Abby. Awesome. Read both, have read Save the Cat, and awesome. Looking forward to getting the YA one soon. Sweet. Okay. I think if you have the original, just so you know, coming back to this, the original is just as good because we're focusing on the beats. I think the YA one does expand a little bit more. So if you happen to be like, I haven't read either, I kind of personally would recommend that one. But I think the other one will be just as good. So a lot of people have said they've read both. I love this. Okay, backing up. Want to read it but haven't. Hi, Mom. Oh, I love that. Have both in audiobooks. Cool. Okay. So it's seeming like there's a good consensus of a lot of you have read it, but there are some people who haven't. So I'll try to explain carefully. Also, just want to point this out because I love this book. Okay. You ready? Do you believe in me? You guys think we can do this? We are going to go over an hour. I guarantee it because I'm long-winded and that intro was long. But are we freaking out? Do you feel okay? Okay, me neither. I'm not freaked out. Let's start plotting. So what I'm going to do is I'll just bring up this while I close out our slides. And then we are going to come to the Google Doc. This is something that I'm going to give you access to if you want in my newsletter. So share screen. There. Okay. This is just a Google Doc. And I'm going to make it prettier. I didn't have enough time today, but I think I zoomed in. Let's see, 150%. Do you guys feel like you can read it? Let me know in the comments if this feels big enough. I can make it bigger. I can make it really big. That might be a little too big. Let me know if this is okay at 150. So once you get access to this, my patrons already have access to this. And then I think in my next newsletter is going to come out on Friday. So as long as you sign up before Friday, I will send this out to everybody who signed up for my newsletter. But at the top here, it tells you that you can click to get a table of contents, and then you can just jump to that section and you can see. So like if you're like, okay, I'm in there and I'd want to jump back to the top, boom, that's really, really handy. I also put a very brief for me, okay? Don't judge. But it's kind of long, a description of what's in here. So we're just going to scroll through it. You already know our project description and goals, so I won't focus on that. But if at some point you are like, wait, when is the next live stream? I can't remember. Then you can just pop in here and check it out. And it is tomorrow. Are you guys going to be there tomorrow? Let me know because I'm still nervous. It's going to be just me because you guys are going to be all plotted out. But here's the large list of tropes from the survey, okay? I'm going to scroll through and show you just how many. So one of the reasons I think you're going to want to get access to this is because it's going to be really cool for you and your stories. If you're like, I need an idea. Okay, let's do the lost heir. Ooh, that sounds good. You know, you can come to this list and get some ideas and we can add to it as we go if you'd like. This is from Save the Cat. The log line is described towards the back of both of these books. So if you haven't got that far yet, basically what you'll do is you'll skip past the 10 story breakdowns. They both give you 10 story examples and get to the back. And somewhere in the back, it will have the log line. This is a way that you can pitch your story, and it's very, very valuable to you. Again, not just for marketing, but to know your overall summary of the book before you start writing. So as we fill out our beats, we're going to come back to this and start filling this out. Okay, now we are at the story Bible. So coming to the side here, we have our big picture decisions. All of this is coming from our survey. Characters we need to fill out still. Our world, we have some ideas in here. And then the tropes we picked. And there's a lot of tropes, which I'm super excited about. So we do need to come back to characters, and I think we'll start there. I'm getting nervous because we're about to finally start. But I also did want to show you our 5 foundational story beats. So most of these, I have nothing except the questions we're going to go through. But here at the top, this is my one and only idea for this story, okay? You ready? So Mara, as we've decided to call her, and we know she has a merchant father because Beauty and the Beast are telling. And this father in the original had failed in a business venture somehow. We don't know how yet. And maybe his deal could have been with a fae, right? And the cool thing could be if the fae make people honor their deals somehow, maybe it's magically enforced, then this deal could be with our love interest guy who starts out as the enemy. And it could be something where maybe the father and his daughters have to come work in the court or the castle for a certain amount of time. But if the deal isn't like specific, right? Because fairy deals are the words matter, is something that's pretty common, then Mara, our character, can hide and not get taken because the deal doesn't specify how many daughters he has. So they take the 2 daughters and don't realize that they missed one. So this would give our main character not only cause to hate the love interest, but eventually she could also find out that it's actually her father's fault and it's not the love interest's fault, which could lead to her liking him. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That was my one and only idea. I'm missing a lot of comments, so let me come back and check in here. Coming back to the log line. Okay, the first step of the snowflake method is a log line as well. That's good to know. Okay, awesome. Oh, happy birthday. That's awesome. And you're going to be there? Oh, sweet. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll have to celebrate you tomorrow. Okay. So comments are coming in. Let me know if you like this idea. This is not set in stone, and I don't want, and it's really not that brainstormed. Obviously, there's a lot of questions here that aren't decided. But I thought it was a good place to show you like what changes their world in a way that they can't go back. Does this fit? So let's come into the comments. We got some good questions here. Maybe they have to sign a contract with their name. I like that, since in Fae myths, names have power. Ooh, oh, I'm going to write that down. Names have power, because that is actually another Fae attribute that we could include. Actually, should I just put that in our Google Doc, right? So we're going to go scroll over here to our world, right? Would it be a world thing? I think it would be a world thing, not a tropes thing. I might need to come back and put our attributes in here because I don't think I copied them over from the slide, but okay. Let's put it in right here, say. Fairy attributes. Oops. And then how did you phrase it? Let me come back. Okay. Names have power. I'm just going to put it like that. Keep it simple. Do they sign contracts for their deals? Is that how it's magically enforced, do you feel like? Or would it be just like as soon as they say it? A lot of fairy books, as soon as they say it, it's like, because you made it with the Fae, that is what enforces it. Yay, I'm so glad you like it, Abby. Thank you. And Dana too? Okay, good. Joanna. Okay, so if you guys like that, then that gives us a good starting place to kind of have a direction, so to speak. But you see how I got that direction from the, oh, sorry, I just deleted that by accident. They give their name and they inadvertently give, oh, okay. So like, how would I phrase that? Or once they give their name or agree to it in a specific way, maybe. Like if there's, as soon as they say like, I agree, I don't know. I like the idea of keeping it really simple because then people get into it by accident. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's been a really common thing in every Fae book that I've read is they make deals by accident and they regret it. So that's one of my favorite things. Okay. What's your perspective, like go-to perspective to write in? Let me know more what you mean by that because I'm not totally sure what you mean. Let's see here. I would prefer that the dad also goes with the daughters. I didn't like only the daughter in the movie. Oh, okay. So yeah, this would be a fun twist on the original curse, right? Where, okay, so let me go back to my questions. This is why it's really nice to have this table of contents on the side, catalyst. So if we like this idea, and it sounds like you guys do, we still have a lot to figure out, which some of it's not necessary right this second, but for example, what deal they struck, who the love interest is, the consequences of the deal, and then how she was able to hide. But let's really quick, if we like it for sure, let's make sure it falls in with the requirements for this beat, and this will help us know if we brainstormed well. Number one, what changed their world in a way that they can't go back? So for example, life does not go back to normal for Mara, right? If we go with this idea, if you like it, it would be like, let's see how I can phrase this. I'm like low on words today. You guys have days like that where you're like, I don't have a lot of words right now. If her, hold on, it's not letting me type. If her father and sisters are taken, she has no family, right? Let's see. Do they also claim the home, maybe? Like claim her family home? That would make it hard to go back if she literally doesn't have a home to go back to. But more importantly, I think it would be she would need to go try to save her family, right? If she thinks that they're under some sort of contract or whatever we call it, that they shouldn't be. And she's angry. And she starts out the story thinking, that the Fae are the problem. Then she would have to follow them into the Fae world. If I'm assuming that's where the Fae would be taking her family, right? And so this is how I could get them all into like a castle, fairy court, or mansion, depending on what we decide, is that she could literally be like sneaking in after them. And I think one of you had put the trope of like sneakily living in a house they're not supposed to be in. And I was like, yes, we can make this happen. So, okay, let me come back to the comments here. What about having to sign the contract in blood? So Holly, I really like that. Let me go back to our, where was it? Oh, my organization is too much. Was it under the world, right? Maybe this will be one of the things that we vote for. Vote for how fairy deals work, right? Do they sign the contracts? Do they give their name? Do they agree to it a specific way? Do they sign the contracts in their blood? That would be extremely strong. Or is it just literally agreeing, AKA, how did I say this before? It's very easy to enter a deal by accident. Oops. I don't like my husband's computer. The keyboard is a little more sticky. It's like harder to type. Ugh, I don't like that. Not sticky literally though. I should clarify. He doesn't like have maple syrup on it or something. It's just he chose the keyboard setting you have to push harder, and I hate that. Okay, love this idea. I think it sticks with the original Beauty and the Beast. Yay! Maybe the Fae love interest has a history with Mars family. Okay, I love that. See, this is the place where in the brainstorming where I'm like, where do I write these notes? Let's put it in. Okay, I have him right here. Love interest. I'm gonna put it bold because we don't have a name, but we think he's Fae. I'm gonna put other just so we can like have a place to organize. Maybe he has a history of some sort with Mars family, ? Okay. Put his daughters down as collateral. Oh my gosh. Should we be brainstorming the dad? Like, do we need to give him? We probably do. So let me show you how I'm doing my doc. This is actually just a table. So I'm going to right click, insert row below. I'm going to copy this right here, and then merchant father, and he is human. Other, and maybe he put his daughters down as collateral. This is so bad. Like to marry a Fae? Is that what you're saying? I'm writing it down because I don't know if that's what you mean, but I'm like very intrigued because then he's kind of a bad guy. He's like, ugh. And maybe he should be a bad guy. Some dads are. You never know. I don't know. Let's see. Which of the 3 story structure plot points are the same or similar with? Do you mean between Save the Cat and Abby? Because if you're talking about these 2 books, they're exactly the same. So Jessica Brody does 15 story beats. It's the exact same as the original screenwriting Save the Cat, but she explains them a lot more specific to novels in both of these. And then in the newest one, there's a few points where I'm trying to think of how to describe this. She just basically goes more in depth, as I think the best way to put it. Like, I'm trying to think of what's different here because a lot of it, when it comes to the beats, is the same. I think she just elaborates more. So like if you had questions, she answers a lot of common questions that she got. And I talked to her and she did tell me that she specifically went and tried to answer questions in this book that she had gotten from the last book. Like, what about a series? And what about if you have multiple characters and stuff like that? But if you're talking about compared to Abby Emmons, I'll actually show you guys. This is kind of fun. So when it comes to our full outline that we're going to do this month, Abby Emmons is the blue and Save the Cat is the orange. And as I scroll through, check this out. Like, I don't think Abby Emmons has a B story specifically, but like when it comes to fun and games, Jessica Brody describes this very cool large beat. And then Abby Emmons has 2 smaller beats in this section instead. What's another good example? The Bad Guys Close In is one of the beats I struggle with the most. And so when I found out that Abby kind of had essentially 3 smaller beats within it, I was like, there you go. This helps me a lot. And I also like sometimes these names are really, excuse me, I need to drink my water. These names are really, really fun as well. Let me take a quick sip or I'm going to totally have a dry throat here. Okay, so Catalyst, where were we? Okay, our next question, is this an outside external thing that's happening to them, aka an active scene that's out of their control? It's not like an internal thought process. Jessica Brody was very clear that like, if you're finding yourself going, they thought to themselves, they might want to do, it's like, no, it's got to be active happening to them. So I think we can say, yes, her family is being taken, right? And she can't do anything about it. She has to hide, right? I think we decided she's hiding to avoid getting taken as well. Is it big enough to shake them up? I feel like this is probably pretty easy to answer, right? That would be pretty upsetting. So I'm just going to put yes. And then when it comes to the Abby Emmons questions, why does this inciting incident matter to the protagonist? And let me come back to the comments before we keep going. Love the idea. I think this could fit into the secret identity thing where, oh my gosh, yes. Where she sneaks into the fairy world to get her family and the love interest doesn't know she's there. Okay, I am totally writing this down. We were kind of putting it under characters, right? Let's see, how would I say this? She will sneak into the fairy world, right? We're going to put this somewhere else in our outline once we figure out where, but I just want to like kind of organize it, right? I'm so unorganized. We'll sneak into the fairy world with a secret identity of some sort. So are you saying like maybe the love interest, we want him to meet her, right? Oops, meets her. But he doesn't know like she's related to the family, who she is. So in other words, they still get to develop the relationship. And she hates him because, you know, oh my gosh, I have to show you guys something that is on my phone. I think it's on my phone, or is it on my computer? It's on my computer. I have to show you something awesome that it just hit me. I was like, I need to add this to the live stream, and then I forgot. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to do this. If I click present, share your screen, I want a very specific screen. This one, allow. Okay, can you guys see this? Let me close this out. I saw this on, I don't know, is it Pinterest? It wasn't Pinterest because it has I think it was Instagram. Enemies to lovers, but she's the only one who thinks they're enemies. He has been head over heels for her since the beginning. Right? That would be so fun. Okay, I just had to show you. Let me come back to present this one. Now I have to bring it back. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, so that's an idea. Coming back to the comments, what if the dad's client in his failed business venture was Faye all along, but he didn't know it? Okay, what the dad's client? Okay, so you're talking like he accidentally made a deal with the Fae and he didn't know that he did it. And then when his whole deal went wrong, he's like, well, crap. I like that a lot, actually. Let me come back to our Google Doc. We would probably put that under the dad. What if when he made the deal, oh, come on, he didn't know it was with a Fae, aka whatever you call it, magically binding, I think is what the word is. Question mark. Maybe, is that kind of what you're saying? Let me know if I got that right. So like, oh, and also he obviously, I should put this in here, didn't think the deal would go bad. Things to brainstorm for him. what the heck is the deal? I won't write it like that. What deal did he make exactly? And also probably what does he do? And that can be something we could do for our survey. I feel like signing a contract is non-magical. It would be fun to make it more magical somehow. Like something that the Fae put on them would be the most exciting. So it's not in the humans' control, in my opinion, would be more exciting. Okay. So like, but then a human would have to hide their name, is kind of what you're saying. And then here's like mixing blood with ink. Ooh, what if, okay, this is an idea that's building off of the idea we just wrote down about the dad. What if, when, like, so for example, right here, what if he signed a contract that had, I don't know how he would know that his, or how he wouldn't know that they used his blood though. So would it be the Fae's blood to make it permanent? I don't know. We'll brainstorm that more. That was like a sloppy way of writing it. We could pull in Rumpelstiltskin as another inspiration. That would be so funny if we pulled in more. I like that. See, I personally like this idea the most too, but I'm still happy to do a fun survey. So I'm going to come back and have to watch through this whole live to find those 4 survey questions that I have so far. Let's see here. I'm glad you guys are liking this. How many comments? Oh, wow. I'm really slow on comments. Okay. We're going to skip through because I accidentally just skipped a lot. If I missed something important, please bring it back up. But here's where I landed when I scrolled. Let's see. So I think this means the dad. Or no, the love interest. He meets her, but he doesn't know who she is. She can be seething at him, but he is falling for her, not knowing that she's part of this deal. Exactly. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I wrote that down for him. Should we add it here? Let me put in the exact quote because I really loved it. Enemies to lovers, but she's the only one who thinks they're enemies. And he's been head over heels with her, for her, since the beginning. I love it. I'm so glad you guys like that. Okay. Maybe he tends to exaggerate when making deals, but saying it sealed the need to deliver and he couldn't. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad that's what you meant. Let's see here. What if Mara wasn't hiding, but she had wandered away? Okay, I like that. So it's like maybe she just literally was out. Where did I put her? Oh, in the catalyst. I'm all over today, aren't I? Let's see. I'll put it right here. I'm going to have to reorganize this. This is messy, right? What if she wasn't hiding, but was actually wandering somewhere, maybe on an errand or visiting a friend? Or if we liked that trope of saves her from Mr. Wrong, this doesn't totally fit with that, but like, or talking to a crush. So she's like, then she could feel bad that she totally missed saving her family or something else. But she's just not there in some way, shape, or form. In the original story, the sisters ask for expensive gifts and she asks for a rose. Maybe he takes their gifts and their Fae treasures, and that's why the other girls are taken. Ooh, how could I add this in? I like this a lot. Oh gosh. This is the problem with brainstorming, is it's like they don't always fit into a specific beat or character. Let's put it in big picture decisions. No, that's a decision though. Let's put it in, I'm trying to think of where would be the best spot. Let's make a new section for lack of a better section here. And I'm just going to delete all of this. And let me know if you guys have any thoughts on organization, because when it comes to brainstorming, sometimes it's just, it's just messy like this. I want to make sure I get the right stuff. Okay. So this would not be world. This would be, yeah, I'll put it here. Retelling elements, I guess. What if the sisters accepted, how did you put it? Fancy, asked for, not accepted. Fancy gifts that the dad, merchant father got from the Fae. Is that kind of what you're saying? And is it, when, I'm trying to make sure if I understand this, when they accepted them, that's when they were taken? Is that kind of what you're saying? I don't know if I totally get that. So maybe let me know if you have more thoughts on that too. Are you thinking like these are other possible things to bring in as inspiration? I like that. Soul binding contracts, definitely magical. As long as he's not lusting after her when she's like actively saying, heck no. No, definitely not. I think Enneagram 8 when they're, or no, sorry, she would be Enneagram 8. We'll have to figure out what he would be like. But I think he's going to seem like a bad guy who's actually a good guy is kind of my hope. Enemies to lovers, where it's like everything about him seems bad, but then you're like, wait, he's actually been looking out for me. Binding bracelet. Okay. And then, or here's the thought. Because, like, yes, we could make them magically comply, or it could just be like a little bit more like our world where it's like typical debtors came in, took all your money. Too bad, so sad. But in this case, it would be more like you've agreed that if you break this deal, or not break this deal, if our business venture fails, you have to come and serve in our house for 10 years or 7 years or something like that. Oops, I'm missing a lot as well. How are you adding the 6 friends element? I'm so glad you brought that up, Abby, because what I was thinking, we'll put this in retelling elements, is I was thinking like, I have a couple ideas. Okay, so we've got our main girl. Here, I'll put this. I'll make this capital. Main girl, right? And then love interest would be like Rachel and Ross in theory. Not exactly like them, but just to name them. I think it'd be cool if I know you guys had siblings of some sort, so I thought it'd be cool if he had siblings in there. Her siblings are going to be there too, but I don't know if she'll be around them. So maybe her 2 sisters could be the other 2 girls and his 2 brothers. Now, that to me feels too simplified. So I think I would pick one or the other, and then, or friends, and then, or people, or fae she meets in the new world is kind of what I'm thinking. So like she doesn't start out the story with them. She's kind of more like Rachel and friends who was in a different world. They're all in this world and she like enters it and meets them. And a lot of them are technically like Ross and Monica are siblings, right? So we could have brother and sister, although you guys did vote for, most of all voted for was sisters relationships. So let's see here. Oh, so many good comments. I feel like I'm missing so much. I apologize if I missed anything. It's not intentional. I am so scattered because it's so much fun. If it's tied to beauty, maybe the father assumed that meant his elder daughters, but the Fae have a different idea of beauty, so the youngest is most beautiful. Yes, I agree. Someone else had the idea that she's actually not blood related to the family, but doesn't know. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So like adopted. I'm trying to think where to put that. Probably under character, right? Oh, there we go. Another reason she might not be taken is if she isn't actually blood related, ? Okay. Could have been out searching for roses. I like that. Could have been out searching for roses. That's really funny. I'm so glad you're liking it. Okay, is all of this too epic fantasy? Having trouble going back to the cozy? Oh, I honestly, okay, which genre do you not like, epic or cozy? Because I will be honest that I personally am not as drawn to cozy. I'm not an epic fantasy writer either, though. I'm just like your typical YA fantasy. I like world building. When it comes to cozy, I was thinking about this a lot, actually, and I was like, I don't know if I'm meant to write a cozy because it doesn't totally fit with my author brand. So that's something I'm still thinking on, honestly. And it might depend on how the story develops. I honestly don't know if I want to make that decision right now, but we'll see. I'm nervous about that decision. So what if the father made the deal to somehow save them? So he's not the bad guy. Let's see. I think he is down here. What if he made the decision to save them, actually? Or, I'm going to put this in there to be the bad guy. What if he was selfish and didn't care? I don't know. Either one could work, depending on like his personality. So what we might want to do is pause this because there's a lot of good stuff here. Oh my gosh, so many. Oh, for brainstorming, this is your suggestion for how to organize it. So just write everything kind of in any order whatsoever and then pull it over to a different one. I like that. So maybe that's what I should do is like coming over to this doc, I should have just made a big messy chunk called brainstorming day 1 and then we could do it that way in the future. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back and like find all these things and put it that way. Just in case we want to refer back to it. When I brainstorm, I just dump it into a document, no organization, then piece it together. Okay, so it sounds like there's kind of a theme there. I want to so badly keep going through all your ideas here, but let's come back to our foundational beats. Actually, before we can even know foundational beats, we should probably know our main character, right? Specifically, these 3 things: her want, her need, and her misbelief. I think if we do anything today is getting this right. And let me, make it so that you can see the screen. Oh my goodness, comments are coming in fast. I just missed like 30 comments. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. I'm going to come back and watch all of this, okay? I'm going to try really hard to make sure that I process everything. But what I'm thinking here, do you remember how we said our theme was love? I think I have it back in our big picture decisions right here. So this is easy. The theme we voted for was love, whether that means self or romantic, family, other. So for example, if a character needs to learn, just to throw out an example, she needs to learn to love herself, then if that's her truth, that she can be loved, to make it a misbelief, we flip it over into a lie, right? And say that you can't be loved, you're not worth loving. And that misbelief would drive her. So then we would put right here, she doesn't feel like she's worthy of love or something like that. So let me know what you think of that idea. Or if you would prefer, coming back up to our right here, it could also be romantic, family, or other. So let me just reference Save the Cat here because I honestly am having trouble remembering. Here we go. Universal life lessons. Okay. I feel like it's really hard to know. This is where I love balancing out multiple types of plotting because the Save the Cat has 2 pages for this. And then Abby Emmons has like 5 videos specifically for the character's misbelief. Probably that's an exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying. So I think what I would probably do is try to think of how to flip that love, that need for love, and love being a good thing, the lesson that she learns at the end, over into something negative, right? Let's see here. Okay, so you're thinking still on the, oh, maybe the father knows she's not his daughter and has treated her poorly her whole life. So that almost gives me kind of Cinderella vibes in a weird way, which is kind of fun. And if you think about it that way, I'm trying to picture how to flip it. This is always my hardest part, is figuring out the character's theme. And I have trouble with and Save the Cat too, but I've learned the hard way that even though it's hard, it's better to figure it out than to let it sit, because it can actually affect everything in the story. So somebody else was saying, what about the love triangle? So let me know kind of what you mean there. Like, are you talking about using I don't know if I wanted to actually do a love triangle in this one. I think I was just using that as an example. But let me know what you're talking about, because now I'm curious. This is the unique twist on the love thing that gives it more depth. I love it. Awesome. Oh yeah, Enneagram 8 struggle with vulnerability. That's right. Nothing makes you more vulnerable than being in love. Okay, AB, I think you've nailed it. So love is giving someone the ammo to destroy you and believing they would never use it. Oh my gosh, you're a genius. Where can I put this? Okay. So I'm going to put her theme there, the positive version first, is, how would we say this? Actually, no, maybe the misbelief is better. So Enneagram, let's not make it bold. Enneagram 8s struggle with vulnerability and nothing. I love how you phrase this. So love gives someone ammo to destroy you. Ammo to destroy you. And you have to trust, essentially, they'd never use it. So in that case, where should I put this? how do I describe this? Okay. So in that case, what her theme would be is learning that loving and trusting someone else is worth it. And like, this is so interesting. That they won't let you down. How about even more importantly, that they'll love you back. So if we are thinking that people aren't loving her back, that would be her flaw and misbelief. I don't know where to put this because this doesn't feel like it actually fits in flaw and misbelief. We're just going to put it here all by itself. But for flaw and misbelief, she believes, based on probably real life experience, right, that people won't love you back and will use your love against you, kind of. Is that kind of what you're thinking? I'll put a question mark because we're not totally sure yet, but I really, really, really like that a lot. And funny enough, you guys, this is so wild because I hope it's not going to be a repeat too close of my books. I'll make sure that it's not. But funny enough, this is basically Jezebel's flaw and misbelief. That's just wild. That's really interesting. I don't want to copy those. So Enneagram 8 is a very different personality. It's hopefully going to come across different. And obviously her family's different and all that. But it's very interesting that the underlying theme, that's basically what Jezebel's dealing with in book 3 that I just finished writing. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, there's a good comment here. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you actually trust them. That is true. Do you have this template available to download somewhere? So are you talking about what I'm writing in right now? It's not really a template. It's just literally my Google Doc that I started brainstorming in. And I talked about this at the beginning, but if you sign up for my newsletter, then you can absolutely get access to it. And I'll send that out on Friday probably. I like that idea. She has maybe trust issues at first with new friends. Ooh. Okay, so where do I put these things? Because these are like additional. How do I do this? Okay. I need like many, many more categories, but we're just going to put it here. Let's see. Maybe she has trust issues with her new friends also. So just in general, doesn't believe that people will love her. Does that sound right? Maybe her crush led her along. Oh yeah, we could bring in the crush. I forgot that idea. Maybe her crush also led her along and made her believe she's not worthy of being loved. I really love that because honestly, that could be the perfect setup for the story. Kind of we're diving into a beat that we're not at yet until tomorrow, but I'm really excited because basically she could be with that crush basically being rejected when everything is happening with her family, right? Which is crazy because then it just like compounds the pain and the I can't trust anybody, blah, blah, blah. Two people can have the same flaws, but be totally different. Good. I'm glad you feel that way, Erica, because I definitely don't want to repeat, but I actually obviously love this idea because I already wrote a version of it once. Enneagram 8's basic fear is being harmed or controlled. Ooh, that's right. Okay. Harmed or controlled. That's actually very accurate. So where do I put this? I'm going to put it right here. 8's fear is being harmed or controlled by others. So they want to protect themselves. And that would fit in her want right here to protect herself from basically being hurt. Typing. Right? Is there a better way to say that? And of being controlled. Oh my gosh, this fits with our oh my gosh, this is like fitting so perfectly because think of it this way. She is doing everything in her power not to basically be put under this bargain where her family is being controlled. And she's trying to not let them be controlled. So she's being their advocate, which is like the healthier side, right? But what does she actually need? I think this is pretty easy to follow up after a want is to learn to love someone and trust them. Trust, maybe even better, trust that they won't control her, right? I think that's going to be really crucial. So our guy character, Ross/Reese, still needs a name. This dude, the enemy who she ends up falling for, is going to not control her. That's going to be very, very important for him to not control her, right? Let's see here. Just realized if Mara's sneaking into the fairy world with a secret identity, her identity could be Callie. Oh my gosh, I love it. Where would I put this? How about maybe her secret identity name when she sneaks in is Callie. That's hilarious. The changeling idea is interesting. Maybe the fae. Oh my gosh, like she's actually not human. Holy cow, that would be wild. Where do I write this? Because I like it. I'm trying to think where to fit it in. Everything's got to go in a big clump, doesn't it? Until I can figure out organizing. So maybe she was a changeling brought to family as a baby. So she's not actually human, question mark. Who knows? Who knows? This is fascinating. Let's see here. I love that advice. I will absolutely pray about outlining. Thank you, Abby. I don't feel frustrated yet, though, but I love that idea. Thank you. Oh, I wonder what this is referring to. I think I missed something. So sorry because I'm slow on the comments. I'm already like 25 comments behind. None of the family knew it. She doesn't have to be blamed by her family, but she feels responsible. I'm trying to remember what the it is referring to. Oh my gosh. Let's see. This is when my brain is too excited about the story to focus. Knew that she was a changeling. Is that what you're saying? Okay. She doesn't have to be blamed by her family, but she feels responsible. I get what you're saying. Let's see here. So maybe none of them knew it. Obviously not her either. This does remind me though of, I think it's a Holly Black book where this happens. So I don't want to copy Holly Black too closely because that actually, it's hitting me now. There's a book where I think it's Kay is the girl's name or something like that. And she is a changeling and finds out, and that's her story. And she goes into the fae world. Could the crush have something to do with it? Ooh. What if he's in on it? Who knows? She is the wild youngest. You're right. Did we put that in there yet? Because that was a decision. Yeah, youngest daughter right here. So personality is a little more adventurous. How do I spell that? Wild, question mark, I guess. Just realized you're writing an Enneagram 8 too. I love that. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. Misbelief, being vulnerable, loving someone will destroy me. Okay, let's see. Being vulnerable is the misbelief, right? And loving someone will destroy me. So then the truth, I'm going to put this theme/truth, right? Because that's really what it is. Being vulnerable. Oh my gosh, this is so accurate for an Enneagram 8. This is hard for my husband, honestly, to hear, is being vulnerable is not weak. He is like, but it's weak. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually not. I understand though. With someone is not a sign of weakness, but an act of strength. Because you're right, it's literally harder to, oh my gosh, I'm like, the door is open. Is he here? He's not here. It is an act of strength to basically be vulnerable with somebody. It's very hard, honestly. So, okay, I'm going to scroll down because I'm missing a lot. Oh my goodness. I'm scrolling to the bottom here. What is a changeling? We talked about that a little bit, but you can Google it if you're curious. It's a type of fairy. And I think there's a lot of different ways to describe them, honestly. I think people have changed it over time and different cultures as well. Maybe the reason her father felt forced to make a deal was because of something that happened with her. Ooh, I don't know if I totally understand what you're saying there. I'm going to go through these faster and like write them in the doc later. Otherwise, my typing is going to take us a million years. Love all these ideas. Good. A fae child taken into the human world, swapped with a human child. Okay, you guys sound like you're liking the changeling idea a lot. But like I said, I don't want to copy Holly Black, so I'm a little nervous about that. Wanting to go to school, don't have the money. Maybe she made the mistake that put her father in the position. Maybe she believed only the family she was born to were safe to love. And then when she found out she was a changeling, that could be her dark night of the soul. Oh my gosh. It sounds like you guys really want me to do a changeling. Is that what everybody wants? Should I make it? I'll make it another poll thing. This is so funny because like I love this about brainstorming with everybody is you don't expect a lot of cool things. Okay, so you're saying like don't think it's copying because it is like a very old myth. It is pretty common actually. You're right. So should she be a changeling? I wish I'd written down the first few poll questions because now I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the live stream. Where were we? Once heard that meekness is not a weakness. Vulnerability is a strength. I agree. And being weak for aides are incapable. They are incapable, meaning no one is safe because only they are really trustworthy. It all comes to their vulnerable walls of protection and trust. It almost sounds like we have more of a trust theme than a love theme, which is okay with me. If you guys are okay with it, I actually really like that. And it does still fall into the love theme, but it's like an even more specific element of love is trust, I guess. If Mara needs to learn to trust that she can maintain her own independence with a relationship, could that tie back to her mother and father's relationship somehow? Ooh, yeah, because in the Beauty and the Beast story, I don't remember hearing about a mother. So I was like, do we have a mother in the story? We could. Let's put that here. Oh, I forgot I wasn't going to write everything down. I'm just going to write it fast. Does she have a mother? Is her mother and father's relationship contributing to trust issues? Okay, I'm not going to write everything down. I got to stop myself because otherwise I'll never catch up on comments. Did you give them all Enneagram types? I have not actually. So maybe this is a good point to come to our other characters. Gosh, our love interest. Let's get a little bit about him. I don't know. I'm scared to do that because it might be really hard to nail something down in a live. If you guys have, do you want to name him something that starts with R? You know, kind of like Reese and Ross. That'd be funny. And then we could give him an Enneagram. I'm curious if I was to Google, I don't know if you guys can see if I Google Enneagram 8 relationship with. Okay, it's giving me a bunch of numbers. 1, 4, 2, 3. I mean, I'm a 3, so we could just do what I know, as people say, to write what you know. I don't know. I don't want to like lock it in. This might have to be another poll question. Let's see. If Mara needs to learn to trust that she can maintain her own independence within a relationship. Oh, I already read that one. Oh my gosh. And I read that one. Okay, so here we are. I think I'm finding my spot, right? She did some magical act, and then that's when her father knew she was a changeling. So you're saying like maybe the father doesn't know? There are a lot of ways to do it. You're right. Did I write down the changeling one? Because that's probably pretty important to fit in there. Yes, okay. I'm going to write a little comment to myself. Can you guys see the comments here? Everybody seems to like the changeling idea. Multiple ways to do it. I think you guys, some of you were like, whether the father knows or not, question mark, whether she knows or not, if she does something, oops, magical to find out, or if the deal is involved and that's how she finds out, or does she not find out until the end? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Can I bring you back to the live stream still? Hold on. Is this going to let me show you? Let me bring it back. I have to show you this. Remove and present. I want to show you this screen again and come back to our slides. Where's the tropes? Do you guys remember? I don't think I wrote them in the Google Doc yet. That's why I'm coming back here. Right here. Okay, let me make them bigger so you can see. Right on the far, far, far right side, where it says unexpected plot twist at the very end that changes how you see the main character and therefore the entire story. Tell me if you've read any of these books, okay? We've got The Thief, The Prison Healer, and The Kiss of Deception. I don't want to spoil them for you if you haven't read them. So if you haven't read any of these, you might be like, wait, what? But, oh my gosh, what if, okay, I'm getting so excited I can't even say the words. What if nobody knows she's a changeling? Not the reader, not the character, nobody until the very end. And it changes everything we know about her. We're like, wait, what? And like mind blown because she's one of them and she didn't want to be and maybe she hates all fairies. Okay, you guys are saying read for the name. I'm getting excited about this as well. Let me come back to, I got too excited and I have to go all the way back to my doc now. But what do you think about that idea? Is that crazy? If you like it, let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and put, oh gosh, where would I put that note? Maybe under foundational. This is like an ending though. What if she finds out she's a changeling at the very end? Final plot twist trope. So that would be, again, like the thief, like the, what's it called? The prison healer. I'm like looking at my books. Okay. You're still talking about read. I love it. Okay. It sounds like you guys like different spellings. Cool. Like how you spelled it. This is so fun. Okay. Let's see. I like that idea. Could be a plot twist launching into a series. Oh my gosh. I love it. Love that nobody knows. Literally nobody. Okay. Well, obviously we know now, but don't tell anybody. Okay. We're keeping this to ourselves. But this is really fun because a lot of you like Reed. I like River too, but Reed does seem like a powerful name. I actually totally agree. Rowan is really cool too. I feel like I heard that in one of Sarah J. Maas's books. I think, although I really do like it. Roland is cool. Oh yeah, yep, it was in one of Sarah J. Maas's books. I'm going backwards in comments, by the way. I apologize. Reed, Raphael, Rosen. I'm not sure how to say that, but I like it. Raymond, Rylan. Okay, good. Our name sounds good. Throwing out also Sebastian and Sabat, a beast. Oh, funny. It is beast jumbled. That's really cool. Remy. So yeah, oh, you make a good point. How does Mara go with it? So Mara and Reed. I think we're going to go with Reed just because coming back to our characters, remember this is a placeholder, not the final decisions. And that really helps me to keep going because otherwise, trust me, I'd be making like a Pinterest board and trying to see what all we could do. I really, really like Reed. Okay. So I know I've missed a lot of comments. If you have said anything about the plot so far that is really important, please copy and paste it back in so I don't miss it. I'm so sorry that I'm only able to read a fraction, but this is super fun. And yeah, this is how it is. Choosing names is honestly not my forte either, but I really love if you find a naming convention. Like, and again, don't do this during outlining or you'll stress yourself out. But when it comes to like writing, sometimes I'll be like, okay, what's similar about like the way this culture does names? I noticed the Hebrew culture has a lot of like Z's in the names, which is really fun. Jezebel, or is it Z's or is it like Jedekiah, Gideon? No, those don't sound like they go together. But anyhow, not my best example, Bethany. I would name my kid Reed. I love that. Okay, awesome. Warns against complete out of the blue surprises. Maybe you could give true hints. Yes. So that's a good point. What we would want to do, I'll put this in my note here for lack of a better place, is we will foreshadow this in multiple ways throughout the story so that when the reader finds out, it's a light bulb moment. It's like, how did I miss it, basically? This is, again, seriously, let me write down those books in case you missed them. The Thief, my personal favorite. It's a short read. It's an older story. The Prison Healer is one of 3 books. It's a YA, I believe. I think those are both YA. And then what was the third one I said? I think it's called The Kiss of Deception, which, oh my gosh. So the first 2, the main character, you learn something about them. The third one, The Kiss of Deception, you find out something about a side character. So you could go multiple ways. Okay, naming is my favorite part. I love it. Why? Why do you not like Reed? Oh, because were you the one who said you want to use it for a kid? You still can. You still can. This is just an outline. Don't worry. There's a Spencer Reed in Criminal Minds. That's so funny. Okay, so coming back to the character. She has trust issues, finds out she couldn't even trust herself. Oh my gosh, you're right. I have so much trouble knowing where to write these things. If she learns, I hate my organization. It's bugging me. If she learns about the fact that she's actually Fae, right? Changeling, at the very end, along with everyone else, then this also contributes to her trust issues. And I think, yeah, you said Dark Night of the Soul. I think somebody else said too, would be a great Dark Night of the Soul. So that story beat might already also be something we learn right before, yeah, she breaks into 3 and accepts herself and learns her theme and her truth, right? I really like calling it a truth. Is this another name suggestion? Because we could use this for, I think we got a bunch of characters still left to name. Okay. Yes, baby name books are a fantastic place. Also, fun fact, Pinterest is really fun. If you go names that mean blah, 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 Pinterest shows you a bunch of cool ones. Let's see. Foreshadowing wasn't taken with her family, not affected by the Fae food and glamours. Ooh, okay. So we are totally doubling down on this idea, and I love it because that means that we don't need to poll, that you guys love it. So, foreshadowing. And I probably should just bring in this side note over here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I should probably just bring that in at some point because I think it's decided. Foreshadowing that she's a changeling. Number 1, obviously that she wasn't taken. Her family. So she brushes it off, right? As she wasn't home. But then we're like, actually, wait a minute. No, they would still find her. That was obviously not true. So that'll be kind of cool because once you look back, you're like, oh, okay. And then not affected by the Fae food, ? Or glamours. I know there's like, this is like the English way to spell it, so my computer hates it. There. Okay. Plot twist, the villain is Jezebel. I love it. Oh my gosh, you guys make me laugh. But then we'd have to have it be in the same world. And sadly, I don't think they fit very well. He could be a 9 peacemaker. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. I'm just going to put everything in one big chunk from now on. Enneagram 9 ? Peacemaker. Except for here's the one problem with that is he is supposedly, and we could change this, but he's supposedly the one who's enforcing the deal. But maybe he has to, right? Maybe he is like, well, the guy signed it. I have to. It's part of the very world that you have to follow through with deals, right? Said, wow, because you came up with it. Oh, yay. Yes, you are the inspiration. You are special. Yay. I love that. You guys, honestly, I want to take your ideas. I really want to have this be all of us together. Will we have a Butterbook brainstorming? Let me know what you mean. Like, will we have the, oh, do you mean this document right here? Let me point the right way. It's actually on this side for me, but for you right here, you get access to this when you sign up for my newsletter, and I'm going to send it out on Friday. And then I think I'll send out reminders every Friday before we do our Saturday lives. So I'll try to send it every Friday as we do this. So yeah, don't worry. I will try to keep you included. If you're watching this, like for anybody who watches this after October, I don't know. I don't know how it'll be available. It might not be. I don't know. I'll put something in like a pinned comment if there's a way to get it, I guess. Let's see here. I just need a name fast. I'll take it from a song. I love that. So like, what if she was switched at birth? So if it was modern, I'll put it right here. If the story is modern, she could just be switched in hospital. Oops, hospital at birth. Birth. Come on, spelling. Okay. What if she ran into the actual daughter? Okay, so I can't unsee the Holly Black book as we talk about this. I'm going to have a hard time, honestly. I'll just be brutally honest with you guys because in the Holly Black book, I think the real daughter was like massively mistreated by the Fae. And I don't know if I don't want to write. I love Holly Black, don't get me wrong, but I don't want the Fae to be as dark as that. That was like the one thing that bothered me is how cruel they were, which is literally her world. So that's fine. And it has to be the way that she needs it to be. But for us, I like that the Fae might not all be bad, that they might be more like humans, where some are awful, some are great, you know? And so I'm thinking out loud here. Let me know if you like this. What if changelings in this world that we are creating come into play when a baby dies and they just take the place so the parent still has a kid, but there's not like a duplicate of them. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Mara, being a changeling, gives her an interest or habit that pulls her away from her family, which could be why she's missing. So coming back to the missing spot. I know I wrote this somewhere. Or has another interest that pulls her away from the family, ? So just so you know, for organization, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'll show you guys how I make this doc, because I think somebody was like, how do you make this template? It's actually super easy. This is just a table. So like if you go insert and click a table, you put it in. I should just make one for you. I'll show you. We'll make a fresh one. Let's see, insert table 1. This is fun in case you like doing Google Doc stuff. You right click and table properties, pick a color for it. We don't want to have a border. We want it to seem like there's no border. Maybe we'll make it pink and we'll call it, oops, I got to go back in and type. Oh, come on. There we go. Brainstorming. And then I've got my headers up here that I've created. So we'll just do title, I guess. I don't know. That looks huge. Let's do that one. And then what I've been doing is centering them. And it's not too much work. See, this took me like, oops, center. Took me probably like a minute to put that together. And then what I do for our table of contents is I did that so that it stands out on this side and you can tell. Oops, hold on. Shoot. I can't scroll down. I have to move this comment here. There, can you see it? So here on the bottom left, you can kind of see the ones that have the asterisks, or however you say that, and you can skip to them easy. So what I'm going to do so that we don't lose anything is basically pull all our ideas down here, and then I will make some decisions and some I will send out a poll. I don't want to do everything in a poll, I can't say poll, survey. But what I want to do is invite you guys to help me make some of them, and then others, if they seem more simple or like it seems like we basically have decided them as we go, like the changeling, then yeah, see, I feel like we've decided it, right? If she's a changeling, then it will also affect how Fae deals are made and whether she's been accidentally making deals. Oh my gosh, that could be another foreshadowing. I'm going to come back to where we have it at the moment. Number 3. Okay. Let's see. Has she, I don't even know how to say this. Has she been making deals by accident? Oops, there we go. And do we see something funky off when she is making deals? Is that kind of what you're saying? ? That could be an amazing way to foreshadow. I love it. I love, love, love it. Okay. Maybe the actual daughter is one of her new friends. Oh, so you're talking about the one that would like basically look like her and be her if she stuck around. That's an interesting idea. Let's see. So here, that would give it away though. So so actually technically that could be a good dark night of the soul moment, is if she runs into herself basically, aka the true daughter, if we keep that, I guess. I don't know how to say that. If we keep that. This is good. I'll share this for everybody to see in case you want places to name or generate names. You can do fantasy name generator. That's so funny. No, I think, so the European spelling is kind of cool. And in this case, I really like the way glamour is spelled, and kind of cool. It's totally cool. So I think we're going to go with it. If you go modern, then he could be like a businessman. Oh, you are making me want to go modern with this story. But here's the problem, Ezzy, is I don't feel like that would be as on brand for me, you know? So like picture this, picture my readers are coming in, right? And I'm like, hey, here's the Stolen Kingdom. It's a princess in a castle. Because that was like my code name for that series, Princesses and Castles. And then also here's my businessman book. Obviously I wouldn't call it that. I mean, I love the idea, but I'm scared that readers would not translate from one to the other. I think as I'm talking out loud and kind of processing with you guys, I think that's my hesitation for why I'm scared of doing modern. I don't know. We could do a poll on it, but I'm scared if you guys vote yes, that I'll still feel uncomfortable. If he's a 3, he could be hardworking, afraid of failure. Oh, that's a good point. Okay. Or a 3, hardworking. I promised I wouldn't write down everything, and then I am. Glad you signed up. Yay. Oh, and I haven't sent it out yet, just FYI. Could fit into the secret cinnamon roll thing. Maybe he's caught in a deal too. Ooh. Caught in a deal too. I'm trying to write them. Oh, you can't see that. There. Can you see it okay? I'm trying to write fast, but still write it down so I don't forget. If he's a helper, enforcing the law, possessive. Okay. So we're kind of brainstorming Enneagrams. Is that what you're saying? If he is a 9, hates to be an enforcer, but must. That makes sense. Manifests as 8s when they're under stress. Okay. If you're worried about him being too passive, Thanos was a 9. No way. Really? You're kidding. That's crazy. Have never read Holly Black. Okay. Or Sarah J. Maas. What if we never meet the original daughter that she was chained up for? I like that better too, Joanna. I kind of like that better. Just because, so coming back to this, my gut was like, where did it go? I'm just going to write it in here. Personally, kind of like the idea of changelings. Spelling is getting worse and worse. Only happening if a baby died. So there aren't 2 of them. Because otherwise, yeah, it's like you have to decide where that character went. And that's painful to think that there's a kid out there without their family, that they miss their whole lives, and who is raising them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Love interest and her friends were friends as children, but her memories were wiped out. Ooh, okay. Brought into the family when she was a kid, not a baby. I probably should write that down too, since it's changeling related. Let's see. What if, let's see, she was friends with, love interest, other characters we meet as a baby, but memories were lost somehow. Okay. Fears are loss and separation. Wants, I think you mean something else. So you're thinking like, oh yeah, we should brainstorm his wants, needs, and misbelief, shouldn't we? And then it's 2:00. Oh my gosh, it's 2:00, and we haven't done our. All right, I'm going to stop our comments. I'm going to come back. I promise. It's really fun to brainstorm characters, but before we worry about characters, we need to know where our main character is going. So, coming back to that catalyst, just a quick reminder, and in case you're coming on at some point, like just starting now, Mara's family is being taken into Fae, and her whole goal and what kicks off her story, this catalyst moment, or what Abby calls the inciting incident, is that she now feels like she has to go save them. And she somehow wasn't involved in the deal. So that's what's changing her world so that she can't go back. Is it big enough to shake things up? Yes. Why does it matter to her? I think that's a pretty easy question to answer, right? These are the questions, brainstorming questions we're trying to answer, because she loves her family. Well, does she though? If they don't love her, I feel like she still would, right? If love is her issue, coming back to her misbelief, why does it matter to her? Do you guys have any thoughts? I don't want to just brainstorm this. I'm realizing that I should involve you guys and let me know. What is it about her family being taken that matters to her? Is it just that she's left alone, right? If that was the case, doesn't she kind of want to be alone? So I don't think that would make it matter. See, this is why it's good to involve other questions, because it definitely pushes her outside of her comfort zone just to come to this one right here. I think this would fit better. She's alone and uncomfortable that way, maybe. No, see, that doesn't work either, though. I have to take it back because Enneagram 8s, when they're unhealthy, their issue is they do want to be alone. They're like, no, I don't need anybody. It's that lack of vulnerability, that refusal, right? So, okay, I see a lot of comments suddenly just came in. I'm going to start at the bottom just and go up. So, love is complicated for people with neglectful, abusive families. You can love them and feel devoted and even be willing to do anything. That is true. So, even though she doesn't feel loved, maybe she still loves them and wants to protect, save them from this deal. Does that feel a little bit more accurate? Yeah, so she does love them. She just feels differently from them, like what they feel back to her. Being loved is her issue, not loving. I like that. So she is passionately caring. She has that, the Enneagram heart that's like, I really do love and care a lot. I just don't want anybody else to know it. And then let's see, inner peace of mind. Oh, coming back to that was for, oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. That gives you ideas. Okay, so this is coming back to kind of the changeling stuff again. So if you guys like this, oh, here I missed a couple. Maybe the feeling of being left behind by them. She could blame them or should blame herself, feel responsible for them being taken. So she feels like she needs to get them back. Okay. Maybe she feels responsible for them. Like it was her fault somehow. So how does it push them outside their comfort zone? That's our last question to answer. And then we should jump into break into 2 and at least get one more story beat done. Let's go really fast through these and see if we can do them all in like a few minutes. I don't know. Maybe she's closer to one of her siblings over the other family members. Okay, I like that. And remember, I'm going to come back and take notes, but I'm going to try to go faster. Feels like it's all her fault, feels guilty, made a decision to choose because she could try and convince herself she doesn't need them. The responsibility is definitely coming up. I think multiple people feel like that could be true. She can feel like the black sheep of the family because she's secretly Fae. And inciting incident matters because she's always felt responsible for them. They've trained her that way. It pushes her out of her comfort zone because she's always been meek and passive. So I will note that Enneagram 8s are very much not meek and passive. So what if, let me flip your idea on the other way. Normally, as an Enneagram 8, right? That didn't get spelled right. There we go. She says whatever she wants, right? And doesn't, well, she does care, but acts like she doesn't care. However, if she's, I'll fix that later, going into the the Fae world, she's going in, we decided with a secret identity was a trope that everybody wanted, right? And so she has to pretend to be meek. How do you spell it? And passive, aka not her comfort zone. What do you think of that idea? So kind of flipping your idea on its head and doing the opposite. Yeah, she could be close to one of her siblings. I like that, especially because you guys wanted the sister relationship. So maybe one of her new friends is someone she has to trust/rely on. Oh, pushing her outside of her comfort zone is forcing her to trust, or forced to, come on, trust someone, aka what she hates doing, or forced to be vulnerable, maybe. Come on, there we go. All right, Bethany, stop typing things. Has to trust a lot of new people. Okay, I like that. Afraid of putting herself out there and giving people power over her. Yeah, and I feel like I put that in there, so I'm gonna make myself keep going. That's awesome. What if wherever she was taken, what if wherever she was when they were taken was somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, still vying for their love even when they don't give it? I like that. So that seems like we're kind of, it's kind of sinking in that she's trying to get them to love her, and you guys really like that. I'm pretty sure we have that in the doc. Having to choose to go help them or not could be her debate beat. Note, this isn't in the catalyst, but debate could be deciding whether to go or not. Okay. Yay, I'm glad you love it. Awesome. Maybe her own words caused her father to make a deal with her. Wait, hold on. I'm reading this wrong. Maybe her own words caused her father to make a deal with her that cost her family. Oh, with her crush. Okay, I got it now. That took me a minute. So like she made, okay. It's like her crush is involved, or are you thinking of the enemy, the original enemy? Or are you actually thinking like her crush might play a bigger role maybe in the story? Being forced to trust someone will add a lot of emotion and suspense for sure. Sounds like that's for sure. Bye, Avi. Thank you for hanging out. I should end soon too, but let me just do the last. Let's do it one more. Hold on. What if she has to trust love interest who acts like he's a liar, feels lost because she needs help, but no one wants to help her? Yeah, it seems like we have like a recurring trust theme in like needing to learn to open up to somebody. So debate could be deciding if she can trust somebody or not, or deciding to try to do it all on her own, and deciding either if she can trust someone or or if she can do it on her own. Oh gosh, save them, not do it. That doesn't make sense. Save them on her own. Okay, for break into 2, we have a bunch of questions actually. So based on this want that we've given our hero, which just to remember what her want is, she wants to protect herself from being hurt and of being controlled. So based on that, what is her goal for this new Act 2? As she enters the fairy world, she does not want to be controlled, right? She wants to avoid the fae controlling her at all costs. That seems pretty obvious. But she probably also wants to, how should I say this? Basically remove their control over the family, right? Wants to stop them from controlling her family. Because if you think about it, if she sees her family as an extension of herself, then them being controlled makes it feel like she's being controlled. So I think that fits. It sounds like Abby's heading out too. Bye. We'll see you soon. Have fun working on your college thesis. Let's see. Maybe her crush is one of the evil fae, and he convinces her to have her father. Oh my gosh, my brain is breaking down. He convinces her to have her father make a deal with him, and her love interest is the person forced to help him. So, in other words, her crush is like an even bigger bad, is kind of what you're saying. So, it seems like this crush is kind of coming up more and more. Like, you guys kind of want him to have a role in the story too. Let me try to put him. Where did I put that? Here we go. No, that was retelling elements. That wasn't really it. Oh, I think I put under brainstorming here at the bottom, right? But I didn't fill anything out. Great. I'm just going to come back to it when we're done with our foundational beats. I'm going to come back and just pull in all the fun storytelling stuff that I can't find a place for. So as far as our break into 2, she has to have a goal, right? So what is her goal? Based on what she wants, which is avoiding being controlled by the fae, not having her family be controlled. What is her goal? Probably number 1 would be to find them, right? Because she doesn't know where they are right away. And if they're working in this castle/court, it would probably be, let me bring this off. It would probably be to sneak into the castle/court, right? That feels like a natural progression. And then the how to save them, but we'll just say to basically, I'm going to say to save them, but like question mark, break the deal. Is that what would save them, or literally steal them away and bring them home, or question mark? We're not sure exactly what her goal is, but that's kind of an idea. So does her goal fix things the wrong way? I think so. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me come back up to the comments here. Let's see. So evil fae is the good one, especially if it's someone they trusted, and that's the true betrayal. Okay, so you guys like the crush idea? Like he could be the main antagonist while her father plays into his schemes. Okay, where should I put this? How about right here? Lots of you like the crush from the beginning, ending up being a much more big bad and the true antagonist, who potentially could be the one who made the deal. How do I say this? The deal with her father, right? And the one employing her love interest, which I think we named him Reed now, and making him enforce the deal with the father, question mark. Okay, so then he's not truly the bad guy. I like that. Sounds like guilt coming into play a lot in her decision to go get her family. Yeah. And not wanting her family, or also want her family to not be controlling of her, if that's part of the plot. Definitely. Wants to save her family and escape the Fae realm. Oh, coming back to our break into 2. Oh, foundational. Break into 2. She wants to save her family and escape the Fae realm herself. Somehow save them and herself without trusting anyone, aka being vulnerable, right? We'll use the word vulnerable because that really fits with Enneagram 8 the more I think about it. Wants to break the deal, but needs to learn more about the Fae in order to do so. Yes, okay, so Act 3 goal needs to learn more about the Fae in order to break this deal because she has no idea how it works, right? So this might be a poll that we need to know is, do the humans know? I'm going to put this down for a poll question. Do humans know about Fae? Actually, let me know if you want to decide this here because maybe it's an easy question. I was going to say, do the humans know about the Fae? Therefore, she knows a little bit already, or do they know nothing, basically? And if they know nothing, then this would make her goal even more difficult and interesting. So coming back to the question number 2, how does it fix the goal the wrong way? Well, if her true need is, what was her true need? Let me go back to it. Her true need is to learn to love someone and trust that they won't control her, right? Then trying to do all of the above by herself is the wrong way because she's unwilling to learn to love / trust anyone else and be vulnerable. Okay, so I feel like it fits. The question is like, is this fitting? Yes. How does their world flip upside down? Would you guys agree that it is her entering the Fae world? I feel like that might be the easiest one we have today. And do they actually enter a new world of some sort? I'm actually put this together with the previous one because they kind of go together, right? Her entering the Fae world feels like it both flips things upside down and is brand new. We should probably brainstorm at some point how different it is compared to the human world, right? Okay. Let's see here. Did I read this already? Oh gosh. I think so. Yeah, sounds like guilt. Okay, I was going backwards. Okay, I see Linda's leaving. Bye, Linda. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for hanging out. Let's see. She keeps an eye on the Fae without them realizing it. Oh, for her goal. And fixing things the wrong way, what are the consequences for breaking the deal? Trying to break the deal or help her family escape could make the situation 10 times worse. I'll put that in this line. Especially if breaking the deal would make things 10 times worse for them. Yes, I like that. Absolutely. It adds to her lie that her father made a deal because he trusted the wrong person. It would likely make her even more afraid of trust and control. Oh no, I'm so sorry. If you're coming here late, don't worry. There will be a replay. Gaston. Oh my gosh, you're right. Now, is Gaston in the original retelling, or is he a product of Disney? That's the question. But I still like the idea of using him as inspiration. She's a wild one, so she could easily be persuaded into this deal by accident. That's right. We had decided her personality. Okay. So this kind of reminds me of Ari's decision to leave her kingdom to save it. Oh my gosh. Isn't it funny how we keep coming back to favorite things? Oh my gosh. I have to be very careful. Please do let me know if things get too similar, because obviously I must have favorites. What if they know based on folklore and songs, but over generations, the details changed and skewed? When you say no, are you talking about the fact, hold on. Let me remember what we were last talking about because I'm skipping around. Know about the Fae. This was an answer to my question, if the humans know about it. Let's put that in brainstorming. Do the humans know about Fae or not? Question mark. First idea. Maybe they do based on folklore and songs. So they have some, oh my gosh, some reference points to if they think about it. Oh, my writing is getting worse. There we go. And then let's see, humans could know about Fae through legends and stories. Maybe through, yeah, this feels like we've got another fun theme here. Some over dramatized. I like that. And then I think you had also said, Rachel, like maybe details changed, right? So that way we know it might not be accurate. So what if some do myths and legends? Also, same as above. I'm going to put it. Do the Fae recognize her as a changeling? Oh, shoot. We do have to answer that question. If we go with my favorite idea, personal favorite, which I admit that I'm going based on personal favorites. Oops, there. Can you see that okay? Then I would prefer no, because then the ending can be wild. Let's put it that way. AKA huge surprise. Let's be more accurate. I just really love that idea. I don't know if it'll fit. I'm missing an R. There we go. It could be an old wives' tale for humans, but no one knows for sure about the Faes. So I think we've got like 4 votes now for myth tales, basically, like folklore songs, all those kind of things. Gaston was the town's big hero, but he ended up being an absolute creep. Okay, so kind of jumping around. Gaston. Possible inspo for the crush character. Okay. Who may have a bigger role as the villain? Question mark. Yeah. Okay. Her entering the Fae world disrupts the flow of magic to some degree. That would make her kind of a superhero versus, this is a fun point to pause and talk about Save the Cat. There are what Jessica Brody calls 10 genres, if I say that right, that don't mean like fantasy, et cetera, but are more storytelling styles. So the superhero style is when it's a character, I'm trying to find superhero, a character who is stronger in some way and more exceptional and extraordinary than the other people, right? Versus, and like other examples are like Institutionalized or The Golden Fleece, which is like a road adventure, Fool Triumphant, versus the one that I like, that I think would be cool for our story is Dude with a Problem. So essentially, this is the flip on the superhero where they're in an extraordinary world. Everybody else is amazing and they're ordinary. I like that because I've written some of those other genres. Like Ari is the one who is in the Stolen Kingdom. You find out pretty quickly on in the Stolen Kingdom that she has Ginny's gift to hear other people's thoughts. And she's an ordinary human, or supposed to be. Everybody else is ordinary. This sets her above. So I kind of want to flip the script and try something the opposite, if that makes sense. And then let's see, adds more conflict if she thinks she knows how to break the deal, but she finds out by failing or in a dramatic moment, it won't work and has to do something else to break the deal in full. Oh, there's like a ton more comments I'm missing. I'm so sorry, you guys. So you still have a character trying to control Belle's decision. Do you mean our character Mara? So, a character trying to control her decisions. I think so. I think though she needs to be proactive too. I think that's important. Gaston was not in the original French tale. Thank you for checking on that, Kay. I appreciate it. So in other words, be careful not to copy Disney. Probably don't do too much inspo from him because we need to be careful. Yeah, okay, he was a Disney idea. That's good to know. And I like that you guys like the crush idea though. Thank you for doing the quick Google search. I appreciate that. Let's see here. There is no Gaston, but Belle's sister's fiance tried to stop her from returning to the castle. Okay. So there is like I don't want to call him Gaston then. Let's call him just Crush. And Gaston could be possible inspo, but just inspiration. Let's see here. If she's lived as a human, maybe her Fae abilities only slowly creep in once she's exposed to magic. Okay. Yeah, we need to figure out. Question. How and when does she and everyone else figure out she's a changeling? Would it be when exposed to magic is your idea? When exposed to magic? Come on. There we go. We had other ideas too. Let me know because I'm trying to remember, but I need to stop going backwards and go forwards here. So his Mara's crush from the human world. What if this crush is in the human world, recognizes her as Fae, and wants to use her to get back into the Fae world? Okay. So, yeah, well, he originally began as an idea, just a really random idea from the human world. So, if you guys like that, he starts out in human world. And she doesn't know he's Fae, right? But we need to figure out why he's pulling the strings, essentially, and manipulating her and her family. Question mark. If he is. I still don't know if I see a motive there. Maybe he's been cast into the human world for doing something wrong. So was he basically banished from the Fae world? This is funny because Gideon in my Soul and Kingdom series was banished. So it makes me laugh. Question. If a Fae is, sorry if you can't see this, I keep forgetting that the comments cover it. If a Fae is how do I say this? Can Fae and humans easily go back and forth between worlds? We still hadn't decided fully on what kind of portal. So the one you guys voted for was technically only twice a year does the veil go down, but that would mean that Fae could go over it too through the veil, right? I love that everyone else is extraordinary and the main character is just normal. Okay, good. I'm glad you like that because that was, and did I write that in there? That was something that was important to me. And I don't think I actually added it. Actually, kind of. So this is the dude with a problem. STC genre, Save the Cat genre, meaning an ordinary person in an extraordinary world. And we have to see if they have what it takes, basically. And I think that's what she described it as, because when you read the 10 different story genres, like types of stories you can tell, for a dude with a problem, they have to be somebody who is thrust into a big problem that seems out of nowhere. I don't know if this fits. We'll have to think on this. I'm going to read that a little closer because as I'm reading that, I'm like, I don't know. A former friend, that could be. Oh shoot. We probably should end soon too. I said that like 10 minutes ago. Prefer trad fantasy over modern, but if you're leaning towards modern, Onward has some good inspo. Maybe Break Into 2 could be involving one of the friends, finding her, she gets to their world and taking her. Yeah, okay. Let's come back to our foundational beats. Thank you for reminding me because this is what we should be focusing on. I'm going to put this as just a brainstorming idea for this beat. Come on, let's have black. Idea, what if this point in the story is when she meets one of the friends and they take her to, I'm just going to call it the Central Perk, aka who knows what we're going to call it. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Oh, that means a lot to hear. The crush, knowing her in the human world and pretending to be human is real. Uh-oh, are we copying another one by accident? I have read this as well. That was one of my books that I showed you guys. Shoot, I can picture exactly what you're saying. Except for he ends up being a good love interest, right? From what I'm remembering. It's been a while since I read that. Shoot. I like the trope that the normal unpowered one is the competent one, and that's their superpower. Ooh, cool. Imagine if there's a barrier between the human world and the Fae world, kind of like Disney Descendants. I have not seen this. This sounds interesting. How did she find out in the first place that her family was taken? Sorry if I missed it. I don't think you missed it because we had not fully fleshed out. We just wanted to know. Okay, let me show you. we had like a very tentative catalyst, which is right here, that potentially her merchant father made some sort of deal where the father and the daughters were taken to come like be forced into work or some sort of version of that sounds fantasy in the either the fairy court or the castle. And we didn't say what the deal exactly was, but essentially it left Mara, our main character, alone, having to go figure out. So we don't know what the deal is yet. We don't know how exactly the love interest is involved and what the consequences are. We did kind of brainstorm that she was able to hide by simply being out talking to a crush, and that kind of morphed into its own thing, which is fun. Not copying anything. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's true. There's no new things. So essentially, if we recognize a parallel somewhere, all we need to do is be very aware of it so that we can put our own twist on it so that it's not copying. So coming back to break into two. I feel like we kind of have a sense of it, but let's make sure. Let's go through these questions. If they're technically in the same place, they're not, so we're going to skip that one. Is it super obvious they stepped into this new world of Act 2? Yes. I'm just going to go like this. We're good. Those two are good. How is my protagonist going to react to the inciting incident? AKA, that's what Abby calls the catalyst. So how does my protagonist, Mara, we're going to change it to Mara, how is Mara going to react to, and the inciting incident is her family being taken, given her fear, which is, what was her fear, characters? To be vulnerable, I guess. Does that sound right? Given her fear of being vulnerable. So I think in that case, a lot of you guys did comment this already. So I'm going to kind of mash together the comments you guys left, which was, how did you guys put it? She's going to try to do everything on her own and not trust anybody, right? Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of you have said that. Let's see here. What if the crush is from the human world, but kind of like Gunther watches from the background? Oh my gosh, Gunther. I love that you referenced him. He wants to use her somehow to get, I should put that in there just for kicks and giggles. Although I don't know if I fully see it. Another inspo could be Gunther watching creepily. Okay, so coming back to break into two, let's try and see if we can get at least through this one. Let's see, maybe she hides away by becoming a servant. I really like that. So where is it? Break into two is right here. In the castle and tries to become a servant. Yeah, and then meets fellow workers, right? Who become friends, because that would be very fitting for the like living together. Gunther being the name. I love that. You guys are so funny. We could. Actual name, right? Where did it go? Actually named Gunther. Question mark? Is that considered copying? I'm not sure, but it's funny. It's very funny. Let's see here. In our break into two, the next question. Shoot, I think this got cut into pieces. How is Mara going to react to her family being taken, given her fear of being vulnerable? Yeah, this was supposed to be with the previous, I think, like this, right? And her misbelief about the world. What decision is she going to make now to avoid? Yeah, this was also, oops, be careful, Bethany. This was all supposed to be one big question. Let me fix this. Okay. All right, let me try to read that again now that we hopefully have it fixed. How is Mara going to react to her family being taken, given her fear of being vulnerable, her misbelief about the world, that you can't trust anybody? What decision is she going to make now to avoid the most pain and get what she wants while steering clear of the things she's afraid of, aka trusting people? So if she's meeting these friends, she's probably the decision she's going to make would be she's going to lie to them about who she is, what she cares about, why she's there, etc., and not tell anyone about her family, right? I feel like that goes without saying if she's refusing to trust. Sorry, I still have this on, so you might not have been able to see me typing that. I think my husband's home, so that's a key sign that we need to stop. Let's see. What if she'd been in the Fae world before and knew that she was there, but for some reason got amnesia and doesn't remember it? Interesting. Okay. Hey, Boo, can you close the door? You can be here. Just close it for me. Thank you. Nope. Almost done, though. I swear. Let's see. But super creepy. With his hairless cat. I love it. Oh, you guys are funny. Okay, so all the purple questions in Break Into Two should be one question. Yeah. Yep. Sorry. I figured that out after. If you use Gunther, it would be hard to use Friends as a comp title. Yeah, that's true. Gunner. I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm just totally going to go with it. Gunner. This is too funny. So, although that gives it a different vibe, that's not a very Faye sounding name if he ends up being Faye. But we don't need to worry about his name right now because that's the thing we have to be careful is not getting caught up in names. Because okay, I have to pause. This is hilarious. Oh, you guys made me laugh. I love it. Is there any issue with using other book titles as a comp when advertising your book? Do you have to get permission? No. This is a great question, Erica. This is very, very common. So it's done in TradPub a lot. The first example that comes to my mind is I think the Lunar Chronicles currently says this story meets this story. That's a common way that TradPub does it when they're doing marketing. They'll put it in their what's called the blurb, the back of the book, a lot, or the description online a lot. It's also very commonly used if you're in TradPub and you're querying to, what am I trying to say? Querying to, get your book published. I don't do TradPub, so I'm like losing the words. And in IndiePub, it's also like an awesome way to promote a book. It's very awesome. Let's see. One of the friends could be a bard. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Where is my characters on the side here? I think I have the Phoebe character, like free spirit, doesn't care what people think, / what if she's a musician / bard? I don't know how to say that word right. I love it. I love that. Okay, so last but not least, let's make sure we get these foundational beats sort of figured out. Either that or we could do another live stream where we focus really hard on the midpoint, all is lost, and break into 3. The other option, if we don't want to do that and we just want to wing it and go start to finish, is tomorrow we just dive right into opening image and I will fill in the stuff that we did figure out. That's one idea. Does that sound good to you guys? Because I know we need to end and I could keep going all day. Ooh, having like an orphan. Okay. I love, love, love that you guys are very character driven because side note, that's not very much my strength. And I think it's very important to have good characters that people love. So possibly an orphan ? Love that. Or he could be the male bard. I like that. Yes, we could sit here and keep going forever and ever. But don't worry, because we do have one tomorrow. So I really need to go to the bathroom. And I think my son's going to wake up literally any second. So this is perfect timing. And I love, love, love that we're including our Phoebe character be included in a really fun way. She obviously won't be the same. I don't want to name her Phoebe. I just want to use that as a starting place. So let me just see if I can find, I think it's right here, our calendar. Just want to end here with this. I will see you guys tomorrow, right? Are you guys going to be around tomorrow? Thank you for sticking around for this super long live stream. It was so much fun. I really appreciate you. If you want to, you can screenshot this. Let me point the right way so that you can actually just remember it easily. But it's also in our Google Doc, which I will send out to you on Friday or Thursday if you want a little time to vote on these these poll questions that I've scribbled. Do you like that? It's like absolute nonsense. I will go back and watch through the live stream. Thank you guys for being here. You're the best. This was so much fun. And I hope we can nail down a ton of cool stuff tomorrow, because just to finish up, we have the opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, and debate. The good news is we just brainstormed the catalyst. So we kind of already know that. We can work our way backwards. We actually already figured out the theme by getting to know our character. So we actually know 2.5-ish, almost 3 out of 5. So this is exciting. I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will talk to you tomorrow.